What's up guys, this is Matt here at Fitness Fusion, and in today's video we're going to go over my top 6 ways to stretch out your hip flexor. Now, why is this so important to stretch out? I would go so far as to argue it's one of the most important muscles you need to keep flexible. Why? I'm going to bring out the spine here and show you. Alright, got a few muscles, hip flexor group. The main muscle is this psoas muscle right here, okay? See it running down from the spine all the way down to the hip here, all right, down to that femur, okay? And when how this works is we're gonna flex, pulls your leg up, and you see it shortening, you go down, now it's fully lengthened, okay? So why does this get so tight? Why is this so important to stretch? It's because the majority of you sit a lot. You sit for work at a computer desk, you sit in your car on the way home, and you sit on your couch when you get home, watch Netflix, and you sit for dinner. Too much sitting. So that is way too much of this muscle not being in a lengthened position. You're shortening it the whole time. And it's sitting that way for hours at a time. So that muscle gets tighter, that muscle gets shorter. And what happens with that is we get some low back issues. A lot of people think, I got a low back problem, it's tight, it's because of just my back. A lot of the time it's not. It's because you got some tight hip flexors, you got like tight psoas muscles, you got tight groin or adductors, and you got tight glutes, okay? These are all muscles that will pull on the hips in different directions and pull on that spine. Now you can see where this attaches right to the lumbar spine here. And if that's tight all the time, just on this side, it'll be pulling your spine that way, okay? So these discs in between here, they're getting compressed on this side, all right? Now, if your psoas on the other side is tight, they'll get compressed on the other side. Now, if they're both tight, which is the majority of the population, because you're sitting, obviously, with both of your legs up like that, your discs are gonna get compressed all the way down from left, right, and the middle, okay? So that's where your low back pain is coming from. Not only that, but it's pulling you forward, okay? And one side versus the other. It's not just pulling your spine, but it's pulling your hips up, okay? You gotta think of your hips, as you can see, your hips are, basically think of them as 2 separate bones. So, put this back here. Those muscles will start to pull up. So here's my pelvis. I'm gonna break it up into 2, okay? Now you get one like this, one like that, one like this, one like that. Okay, you can see where we have problems as far as that muscle pulling up. So it's super important to keep that muscle loose. Not even if you're just an average Joe that sits a lot, but especially if you're an athlete that sprints a lot, okay? So I'm gonna go over my top 6 stretches for that muscle, the entire muscle group. There's a couple other, you got your iliopsoas in there, some tendons down there that we want to keep loose, but the psoas is one of the bigger hip flexor muscles that we're going to worry about. First one, you don't need any equipment, you just need a ground. Kneeling, driving those hips forward, you're reaching, and you're leaning, okay? I'll show you from here. I reach up and I kind of crest my arm over and I lean slightly over. I don't lean in a way to where my hips go out. I lean in a way where I stay centered and lean slightly over from there, okay? Hips stay in a good stable position. I'm driving those hips forward and I'm flexing this glute, not both glutes, but the glute on the leg that you're stretching out. And take some long, deep breaths here. All right? Next up is the same thing, but with a bench. And we're getting more of a quad stretch here along with our hip flexors. So what I'm gonna do is prop this foot up on a bench. You could use a chair, a stool, a couch, doesn't matter. On that knee, and preferably something added for your knees. You don't wanna do this on a hardwood floor, especially if you got knees like me. You're gonna have those hips forward, flexing that glute, and leaning slightly over. All right? third one, I'm over here, I'm up against the wall. Basically the same thing as the bench, just a little bit more extreme. All right? Get this foot up, driving down. All right, you'll really feel this in the quads and the hip flexors. All right? Next up, I'm going to move the camera around. I'm going to change the angle and show you the last three. All right, I guess I didn't have to move the camera for that one, so there's a little cut in the video there, sorry. I got a foam roller. You could also use a yoga block. All right, what I'm going to do, simply going to sit on it, more the top portion of my hips, not so much your ass on it. We're down here, and simply one leg is straight, and you pull the other knee up, all right? And some of you might be really tight, but when you start to pull, your leg lifts up, all right? Keep that quad tight here, and drive that foot to the ground, all right? You see the position of my hips. They're going forward, just like with all of our other stretches here. You're pulling, and then simply switch legs. And keep driving that bottom leg, keep driving that down, getting that stretch. You're sort of pulling yourself apart, pushing one way, pulling the other way. All right? Now I'm going to move the camera. All right, guys, move the camera over here. And these last two stretches are going to follow the same pattern as the first three as far as getting a knee back and driving the hips forward. All right, this second last one here is just a simple runner's pose or a runner's stretch. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get in a kneeling position and simply come down, kick that foot back. So I'm not just straightening the leg, I'm kicking back slightly, dropping those hips and dropping that knee to the ground. You may feel a stretch right here. Great. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can drop down on your elbows. All right, and we're driving those hips down to the ground. And this is not only giving us a great stretch in our hip flexors, but we're also getting a great stretch in our adductors and groin as well. And of course, switch legs. Last one here, you get a band, you hook it up to a machine, power rack, doesn't matter. You're going to step into it and get this band right underneath your glutes here, okay? And from here, you're going to take a nice big lunge back. Don't pussyfoot it, get to here, not far enough, get to here. Take a huge step. Get a lot of tension on that band. And what this band is doing, for those of you we talked about earlier about flexing that glute, engaging that glute to allow us to get a better stretch in the hip flexors in the front. For those of you that have trouble activating those glutes, this band is going to help. Because as it pulls, my glutes have no choice but to activate almost on instinct or a reflex, pulling forward, so these glutes want to flex more. And reach and lean and breathe right here. All right. A little bonus. This is not part of the top 6 stretches, but this is more of a mobility exercise and a warm-up, especially before you're going to go sprinting or just running in general, is doing some stationary lunges here. So we're in the same position, lunge back, drop down, and up. At the very last second, it's not like a regular lunge, the very last second, we're going to drive those hips forward. All right? 10 to 15 of those, 3 sets before you go out for your game, before you go out for a couple of sprints. Those are really going to open up your hips, all right? So you can achieve that full length stride that you want to achieve to get as fast as you can. But that's it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you liked it. If you do, please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Find us on Facebook and Instagram. Follow us there. Please check out our website, fitnessfusion247365.com. Anyway, guys, I've been Matt Jasker. You've been sitting on your ass watching YouTube, and I'll see you next time. My top 6. The fuck was that? Send me in. Fucking A! I'm not so sure about that ending. Fuck it up all the time!